Oh, Doctor, I recognise that music. Have we really landed in 1978? Oh, I'm so pleased, as 1978 was a great year to reflect upon for Bourne End. Two wonderful campaigners, Councillor Dinny Hawthorne and Dr. Kay Flanagan, got their heads together with a few like-minded people, including Gwen Thomas and Jean Peasley, and decided to do something to help the increasing numbers of the housebound elderly in the area. They suggested to Bucks County Council that a day centre was built on the site of Old Clayton School. Sadly, after a lot of work was done, that proved to be impractical, but an alternative site was found on wasteland off the main car park. Dinny and Kay's campaign lasted for 5 very full years. And over that period they did many things too numerous to list, including launching a Buy a Brick campaign, and many local residents bought a lot of bricks to start to raise the money needed. Lots of other fundraising ideas brought in the much-needed money. Both the Rotary and Round Table were exceptionally generous with their donations towards the cause, as Dinny's team crept towards the target set by Bucks County Council of £45,000, about £200,000 in today's money.
Stop.
And by 1983 they did it. A cheque for £45,000 was handed over. Bucks County Council provided a further £34,000 plus the land. And the foundation stone was laid and can be seen in the current entrance hall. Now we're back in the present day. Let's visit the Bourne End's Big Society Village Centre as if we were a stranger. The library, the community centre, which celebrates its 50th anniversary this year as a community building run by locals for locals, and the Wye Valley Volunteers Office. This is where around 50 drivers are coordinated and a home help service provided to over 20 households. Visitors often say, "Where is the day centre? We know it's next to the library, but oh, there it is." All they see are these 3 windows, which are in a dining room, which can comfortably seat 30 people. These are old pictures as the Red Cross banned the bidding teams and all casual visitors earlier this year. To show you the rest of the TARDIS, we'll need to look at a plan of the building and land and hover above. The area marked number 1 is the dining room. Number 2 is the kitchen and staff areas, and number 3 and 4 are 2 large activity rooms for members. Number 5 is the sick bay, if some TLC needs to be given to members. Number 6, the specially built hairdressing salon with 2 workstations and preparation area. And number 7, the laundry room. Numbers 8 and 9 are loos and corridors, but the area circled houses the specialist Parker bath and walk-in shower. Sadly not in use at present. And finally, 10, 11 and 12 are rooms and disabled loo in the separate building leased to the health service, which has been left empty for 6 whole years. We do have permission to film the outside, so let's start at the left-hand metal gate. This takes us outside the kitchen area. We can see immediately that a bit of a makeover is required, with lots of self-set bushes and trees which have been allowed to grow out of all proportion to a working and pleasurable day centre garden. Note the large tree overshadowing the whole thing. As we move round behind the boiler room and kitchen, we come to the first of 3 small gardens, which can be very pleasant indeed in good weather, given a bit of a horticultural purge. Behind the first activity room, what appears to be a much smaller garden is available, but again, overgrown shrubs and a massive tree need some attention to prevent it overpowering the area and filling the gutters with leaves. This garden was dedicated to Hilda Smith, the much-loved district nurse who worked closely with Kay Flanagan. The third garden is another very pleasant seating area which needs some reorganisation. The limited professional care staff does try hard to maintain the garden for clients, but this is not exactly what they're paid to do, is it? Now we see the derelict podiatry unit. It's completely overgrown with ivy. Back to our plan. We're at the area shaded green, and now we'll switch to the main entrance again and enter through the other metal gate into the unused area. More self-set shrubs cutting down the light, a large willow wreaking havoc with the drains and foundations, and the entrance directly into the sick bay, which is obliterated by shrubs. The window with a blind is the hairdressing salon next to the podiatry centre. Thankfully, after making strong representations to the Property Department of Buckinghamshire County Council, the top of the willow has now gone, but the trunk and feet will need major attention very soon. Back to the Podiatry Centre, which is right next to another building. And the gate is marked "Danger, keep out." What is it? Yes, ironically, it's the memorial garden to Dr. K. Flanagan, which has been labelled "Danger." I wonder if Inca knows something we don't. The path is smooth, passing by the podiatry ivy, and it leads directly to K's garden, only opened last September. It has now become a marvellous opportunity for day centre clients to have peace in the garden as well as borrow library books. Some of you will know Cookham's Elizabeth House, a day centre only 2 miles away and set up a little before Bourne Ends. This is also run by the local people for the local people, with Dr. John Lloyd Parry as the chairman of the trustees. John, of course, is known for his time as a GP in Bourne End, and we'd like to thank him and all the trustees for the help given to us when compiling our business plan. We would also like to thank Dominic Grieve for the 4 meetings he's attended to talk about the day centre, including this visit last year, when he met the staff and toured the centre for an hour to see what happens there. So, having given you a flavour of what's happening to the day centre now, we'd like to tell you more about our business plan, which will spell out what we'd like to do, with your help and support. At the end, you'll be given a letter, questionnaire, to complete to give your support and your own ideas about how these plans can be improved. Please do fill one in and leave it in the library by Sunday. Thank you so much for attending our meeting.